Hey everyone, in today's video, it's the big day. The V12 is finally coming out of this Jaguar. It is about to rain, so we'll be dealing with that, and it's about 40 degrees. But that's not going to stop us from getting this thing out, because it needs to come out. We need to make room for our 5.3 LS motor. Well, it's in a garbage bag right now, but there's the heads and stuff. The heads have been rebuilt at this point, cleaned. Inside the engine's been cleaned. Got a new camshaft in there for an LS6, and that's what's going to power this Jaguar in a few months. First thing that needs to happen is the hood needs to come off. The hood is hinged in the front, so we got to get to some bolts up in here, and you can see they're in there, but the grill is in the way. So there's a Phillips head screw there and a Phillips head screw there. I'm going to get those out right now. Fun fact, there was actually 4 screws up in here. You can see I've put them back. Rule number 1 of stuff like this. The first person to teach me this was a guy named Tom in a previous job in college. Always put hardware where you found it. And that way, when you go to put it back together, the hardware's right there. Don't waste your time labeling bags and stuff. Just put it where it was, and it'll be there when you need it. And next, I tried to show it earlier, but you've got your 2 bolts in here. Come on. There we go. There's the one. There's another one way up in there. Right there. And you might feel like you're going to strip it, but I got it anyways, even though my wrench went in on an angle. The 1/2 inch felt better than the 13 millimeters, so I used the 1/2 inch. Now I'm just waiting on my helpers to show up so we can get this thing moved.
Oh fuck, I forgot the struts. That's what's going on. Oh, it's pushing itself out. Yeah.
So yeah, that was a fun lesson in think before you act. Don't forget about those. What else do we have here? I think we're going to
It's snowing.
drain. Don't.
It is.
Yeah, it's snowing. So now we're gonna work on this thing, and that's 9/16. There's a nut behind it. Looks like there's 2 of them. So get that apart.
Just let us know what needs done, boss. We'll get it taken care of for you. We'll get it all straightened out.
Yeah, real good.
Get it real perfect.
You're the best, boys. Guys, we got a problem.
Yeah.
There we go.
It says not to drain the radiator.
Well, we'll call that number and see if we can.
We just take it out while it's full. You just put your hand over it.
We gotta stop. This project's over.
Well,
Can't do it.
we had a good run.
Just put your mouth on the end of it.
All
hold
right.
your breath.
We've got Jared working on the exhaust under there. Nathan's been helping me take this thing off. The fan shroud is attached to that crossmember that goes there. This is the condenser coil. That's gonna come off and not get used again. We'll work on pulling this radiator out, and then we'll be a little bit closer to being able to have room to get this out. Also, the coolant is draining. I just decided to cut the lower radiator hose, and I've got a screw jammed up in my cut so that it comes out. Ooh, I gotta change that bucket. We've just been slowly disconnecting all the wires here. Jared's been working on the exhaust. He lost a bolt, so he's looking for it. It's cold out. It's windy out. It's been snowing. All right, we've been at this about 6 hours now. It's 4 o'clock, started around 10. For the exhaust manifolds, there's 4 studs coming out of the manifold, and they go down. You can get 2 of them from right here, and then the other 2 you can get from underneath the car. One you can go straight up, and the other you use a swivel. You use that with a 9/16 socket. How you feeling, Jared, after using your extension monstrosities to
I
get?
don't know what the HE double heck they did to do this.
Yeah, that's
But
kind
it's
of the that's kind of the theme of this car. It's just, how did they put this together? Like, how did they? Because we're having a hell of a time taking it apart. We just wonder how they put it together. These are some of the various exhaust bits we've got out. We did Sawzall a little bit for the back, for like this stuff here, because, you know, I'm gonna go straight out like a lot of V8 swap people have done. I'm not gonna go up and over the axles. Just need to get the passenger side one out. Sorry, driver's side. All right, the car defeated us today. We won't be getting this engine out today because, well, it's dark, it's cold, it's windy, and we'll just wait until tomorrow's cold and windy weather to get it out, but at least it'll be light. Over here has been fun. The exhaust manifold bolts are a lot more difficult to get to here. What else? What do you have to say about this, Nathan?
Every stupid bolt on it had one thing or another that just made it take 15 minutes to get out.
In some cases, half an hour.
Half an hour. And there's probably, what, at least 10 bolts that were like that?
Yeah, it sucked.
There will be much more room when that LS is in here.
So much room for activities. So much room for activities. You won't even know. All right, Jared's back.
Yo.
We're back at it. The exhaust is out. Finally got to those bolts. Finally got one of the engine mount isolator bolts out. Just finally was able to fit a 14 ratcheting wrench in there, and it finally came out. Driveshaft bolts are out, but this is out because here's what Jaguar decided to do. They decided to not put any drain plug on the transmission pan. And to remove the transmission pan, you need to remove the transmission mount because it's bolted to the transmission pan, which is just ridiculous. So we drilled a hole because transmission pans for TH400s are 25 bucks on Summit Racing. So there it is. That's what we did, saving ourselves a lot of time. How's the snow, Jared?
Oh, you know, about 32 degrees or less.
Yeah,
The usual.
the usual in Pennsylvania. So, update, we got the transmission mount undone. There it is. It was not just one bolt, it was a complete pain in the tuchus. Because once you get that out, you need to get, oh, where is it? You need to get this thing out too. And this is held in with 6 bolts on this face. Then there's 2 surprise bolts there and there that you don't realize are there, and then you gotta get at it with a 13mm spanner or ratcheting wrench. Then and only then can you actually remove the drive shaft, which we've got right here. Not a very long drive shaft, it's not a bad drive shaft. So now that we've done that, we're able to begin hooking the engine in. About the only nice thing Jaguar did on this vehicle is leave in the factory hooks for when they installed the engine in the factory, and they left it there for us so we could, you know, pull this engine out. It's just one little piece of icing on the cake.
They knew whenever they put the engine in, they're like, these things are going to come out all the time.
Yeah, or never come out and just leak oil non-stop for their entire lives. Okay. It's about time to start getting this out. We intend to run into lots of stuff that we've missed and, you know, potentially break stuff, but that's just the name of the game here. It's coming out whether it wants to or not. So this here is sped up about 5,000 times and some of it is left out. We ran into a lot of stuff because, well, we didn't really do our due diligence looking to make sure everything was taken apart. So that slowed us down quite a bit. If we had focused a little bit harder, we would have done better, but, you know, we were kind of tired, it was kind of cold, and we were kind of rushing to get it out before it got dark, so it is what it is.
I think it's gonna work this time.
For real. It's going to happen.
It's been 1 hour and 2 minutes since I hit record.
Only an hour and 2 minutes.
here's the engine, folks. Nice and greasy, nice and oily. Definitely time to go. It's very long, much wires, very connector, pain in the butt. Yeah, this really fought us, so we feel quite accomplished. So now my neighbor who sold me the car wants this transmission. If I feel bad enough, maybe I'll buy him a new transmission pan. But yeah, here it is, folks. Things we ran into were
Everything.
yes, mostly it's just a matter of flying by the seat of our pants for the most part. I mean, we forgot about the starter wire. We forgot about some of the electronics, like this harness. Wires are not hard to fix, so when you cut them, it's not a huge deal. You put this one right here. Look at that.
You see what that bolt was that the thing we tried to fatigue?
Oh yeah, and then the starter wire. Yeah. Oh, we wouldn't have even been able. No, that's a 12-point socket bolt. See.
Okay.
We ended up just taking a Dremel and cutting this little thingy here. It was holding the starter wire to the you know, where the transmission and engine meet, and well, it's so dark and tight in there, we wouldn't have been able to see that, so we ended up just cutting it and pulling the wire through.
So we got a 12-point bolt here, we got a regular hex bolt here, and then we got a Phillips.
We've got a stripped Phillips head for the solenoid wire. That is just, it's a very nice combination of bolts. Got the, ooh, it's actually kind of clean under there. Wow, who would have thunk?
You can make a couch out of that.
I'll probably have to put this on the 4L60E so I get all the quietness. Okay. I think that's a video. I don't really want to record anything else. This has been a lot. So, guess I'll do my, so that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in for future videos to see LS engine go in and 4L60E and all the stuff I deal with to make it work, and all the stuff I work on to make it work. So I'll see you in the next one.